Hi friends, so I'm back with another important and interesting astrological analysis of Mr. Amitabh Bachchan. I saw the astrological analysis by many renowned astrologers about the life of Amitabh Bachchan, but I somehow couldn't find that convincing uh, convincing idea or convincing explanation to what led to his success. So here I am, I'm doing a analysis, and bear with me because it's going to be more detailed, and I'm going to go into showing you how the astrological factors indicate what really happens in a person's life and how it correlates, how it makes sense. So I posted the charts in a previous post which you'll find on my timeline. If you like, you can refer to the charts if you understand the reading of astrology charts. So if we look at Mr. Amitabh Bachchan's chart, it's very interesting to see that he has 4 planets in the 8th house now in his natal chart. So 4 planets in the house of upsets, in the house of accidents, in the house of subconscious, in the house of mystery. And we saw that there was a similar kind of formation in the chart of Osho, who had 4 planets in his 8th house. And we saw that Manohar Parrikar had 4 planets in the 9th house, in the 8th sign of Scorpio. So what this means is that there is in yoga, there is a combination of planets which is very favorable for bringing about something massive and something that is karmically supported for this kind of person. Now, these 4 planets, they have their gaze, they have their drishti on the 2nd house, which is the house of wealth, which is the house of the voice, which is the house of resources. So what happens is Mr. Amitabh Bachchan, of course, has been very wealthy, but also his voice has been amazingly powerful, has been amazingly one of the best baritone voice, I think, which has ever been there in the industry. And also we saw this in the case of Osho. Again, he had a great voice. His vocal power was amazing. The voice was very unique and very beautiful also. Okay, so now let's run through some parts of his chart. So what really makes Mr. Amitabh Bachchan an actor? He has some things which would make us think that he won't be someone who's so public, who's so popular, because he has Ketu in his ascendant. Ketu, or the south node, being in the ascendant means that this person will tend to be shy. And if you read the interviews of Mr. Amitabh Bachchan, he says that he is an introverted, shy person. He admits to that. Also, he was a shy child. This was the reason that for his first audition, he went 7 times to the audition center gates to the studio, and he returned back 7 times because he was intimidated with the idea of going and giving an audition. Isn't that interesting, you know? And he's such a big superstar now. So the Ketu in the 8th house makes him a rather shy, also kind of mysterious, introverted personality. And again, planets in the house of mystery, 4 planets in the house of mystery, again, would make him someone who is a very powerfully connected with the subconscious, very powerful subconscious, but again makes that person mysterious, makes that person secretive in some way. That is very interesting. So what makes him an actor? Well, if we look at the progressions concept that exists in Indian astrology, where we consider that one Deva year is one Deva day is one Deva year. Sorry, let me say it again. One Deva day is 1 year in human time. So what happens is we have to look at how the planets evolve. We cannot just look at the birth chart, but we have to see the evolving picture with age. And for that reason, I did a progression calculation on his chart, and by the progression calculation, I found that the 4 planets in his natal chart move or progress to the ninth house, which is the house of luck, which is the house of fortune. And they also progress to the ninth house with the sign of Libra, which is the sign for glamour, which is the sign for being a big celebrity. So Amitabh Bachchan is not just an actor, he's a big celebrity, he's a superstar. So this superstarhood comes from this huge Libra prominence in the house of luck. And I'm not referring to the sun sign of Libra, so please don't mistake that with what I'm saying. Okay, now we know that on July 26th, 1982, Amitabh Bachchan underwent a major accident on the sets of the movie Coolie. He was admitted to the hospital, was almost in a coma, unconscious for almost a week. And his fans, the people of India, prayed for him, went to temples, went to God, prayed in churches, prayed in mosques, prayed in gurudwaras, and they prayed that he recover. And almost it was like a resurrection for him on August 2nd, 1982. So how did this death-like incident happen? So there had to be something in his chart that could make something like this happen. So July 26, 1982, I have posted the chart. You can see that Saturn is transiting and is almost at the same degree as I think, let me check. It is almost at the same degree with three planets in his 8th house, and the moon is also in the 8th house. Saturn is a planet that is crossing 3 birth chart planets in his 8th house, the house of accidents, the house of death. So that is why he had this death-like experience during that time. And also, if you see, he was in the period of Shani, he was in the period of Saturn. So during the period of Saturn, Mr. Amitabh Bachchan underwent this accident. Interestingly, in the period of Saturn, Mr. Amitabh Bachchan entered into movies and he was encouraged by his mom. So he underwent the period of Saturn from 1971 to 1990. And what this means is these 19 years of his life would have been pretty difficult, but he worked very hard, which is a Saturn trait, and he worked with a lot of discipline. So this shows us that the Shani period can bring someone a lot of achievement through hard work and discipline. So if you are in a period of Saturn, never get disappointed. Understand that you can work hard, you can work with discipline, and slowly with patience and perseverance, Saturn gives the result. Also, interestingly, if you see, there is Saturn placed in the 4th house of Mr. Amitabh Bachchan. So what that means is that his mother would be involved in his success. And his mother, Teji Bachchan, actually encouraged him to get into movies. And that's how he got into the movies, with the blessings of his mother. And Saturn is retrograde in his chart, which indicates that there is some karma from the past life that is supporting him. There is some destiny factor that is supporting him. Also, you see so many planets in the 8th house. It indicates the power of karma. It indicates the power of the subconscious. So that is amazing, and we saw how he went through this accident. Amitabh Bachchan has had problems and was also injured on the upper abdomen. So in case of Manohar Parrikar also, I said that Jupiter in the 6th house is causing a upper abdomen problem, a problem in the pancreas. So in the case of Amitabh Bachchan also, he's faced a lot of problems with these areas. And these areas are governed by Jupiter in the 6th house. And also, if you see, these are very powerful people. So the Jupiter in the 6th house actually strengthens the solar plexus, which is the center that makes you very powerful. So you need to strengthen your solar plexus to radiate and project a powerful personality. Right? So Jupiter in the 6th house for Mr. Amitabh Bachchan. Let's see, what else can I see in the chart of Mr. Amitabh Bachchan? Yeah, if you look at the chart of Mr. Amitabh Bachchan, he has Venus in the 8th house in the sign of Virgo, and Venus is debilitated or disadvantaged in that position. So that means Mr. Amitabh Bachchan has sudden gains of money, he has had sudden losses of money. Also, Venus rules the women in his life. So he has had episodes with different women. One of his major affairs was with the actress Rekha. And with Rekha, we saw the movie Silsila, how their love story was kind of projected, or the movie was inspired by their love story. So Amitabh Bachchan also has Rahu in his 7th house, the house of marriage. So that makes him kind of not so great at long-term relationships. So most of us know, and there's a great rumor that Amitabh relationships for him. Sorry. So also, if we look at his dashas, the time when Amitabh Bachchan underwent the health problems, his Jupiter, the 2nd house lord, resources lord, was in a period of Ketu Venus, a difficult period. And if we look at the time when his company underwent major losses during the year 1990, it was a Venus Rahu period under the Mahadasha of Jupiter, which is again the 2nd lord, the lord of resources for him. So very clearly you can see that this is somebody who has this immense power of the subconscious, immense karmic power, which makes him so powerful, which makes him such a leader, which makes him such a superstar. And 9th house Libra, definitely show business and luck going hand in hand. And so emphasis on 9th house Libra during his prime days. And later he moved on to become more of a leader, to appear more as a social figure. That's because again progressions takes those auspicious planets to his 10th house. So there are also scandals associated with him, like the Boffa scam. So scandals would be associated with someone who has so many planets in the 8th house, immense significance in the 8th house, which is the house of secrets, which is the house of scandals, scams. So this also is an aspect of his life which is involved, and of course he really worked hard to cash in on that, which is no doubt something that is inspired in those conditions, as well as something that one has to work with. A difficult period in Amitabh Bachchan's life was definitely the Saturn period, but he also succeeded. He made the most of it, and that is the hallmark of someone who becomes successful. 1971 to 1990. Also another difficult period for him could have been 2006 to 2013, wherein again we saw him succeed. It was a Ketu Mahadasha, considered to be very difficult 7 years. but it could have been a very spiritual, nourishing period for him. He saw difficulties, but at the same time, he saw great success. So he is a man who has really turned the challenges into success, into creativity. And I'm really amazed to see how he has done that with a horoscope which would be typically considered as very difficult by Vedic astrologers and astrologers in general, I think. Amitabh Bachchan is now in a period of Venus which lasts for 20 years starting from 2013. So I think this is a great period for him to enjoy the fruits of his success. The progressions also show that his planets move to the 11th house, which is about fulfillment of desires. His 11th house is in the sign of Sagittarius, which is a more spiritual sign. So I see him maybe achieving his spiritual goals. We know that he has been a sadhak of Sri Satya Sai Baba and has been following some spiritual practices. But I see him definitely to have great psychic powers, great intuition on the spiritual front. And I see him fulfilling his spiritual goals, material goals in the days to come. And because 11th house is the house of fulfillment of desires, and there's a lot of emphasis there right now. So this also gives you a taste of how I analyze charts, how I look at the timelines. And I had very little difficulty in reverse engineering and understanding this chart with the kind of methods that I use, methods that are progressive, the methods that derive the best from our ancient scriptures, from our ancient sciences of astrology. And I hope you would want to explore more of these sciences. I hope this is helpful. If you have any questions, please feel free to post and I'll be glad to answer those. If you have any questions about Amitabh Bachchan's chart, please feel free to post that. Also, another thing, in recent days, Amitabh Bachchan has invested a lot in Bitcoins. He's invested a lot in the cryptocurrencies and has achieved great success. That again could be attributed to the 11th house emphasis and also the drishti of so many auspicious planets on the second house of finances. So that again makes it very strong for him to be an investor at this stage, to invest and to earn from wise investments. If there are any questions, I'd love to answer them. You could post them as a comment. And thanks for joining. Thanks for listening to this analysis. Please get in touch with me if you want to know more about astrology, about how you can get a reading from me. Thank you everyone for joining. Thanks Bala, thanks Pooja, thanks Vinny, thanks Kaushal, thanks Vipul, thanks Parshuram, thanks Satyakam. Thank you for joining and have a wonderful day ahead. Cheers. All the best.